Hi, my name is Eric Litchford. I'm at the John Marshall House in downtown Richmond. We're doing some window work on the original 1790s window frames, and we've made a couple really cool discoveries we wanted to share. So the first thing to note is actually when you look at these window arches, these are what you call gauged and rubbed bricks. They've actually been rubbed to create this color contrast and cut into these shapes to make the window arch. What's interesting though is if you take a close look, these aren't actually separate bricks. They've just put a groove there and filled it with mortar. It's one of the many time-saving 18th century tricks you see in these structures. So if you move down from the window arch, we actually have the window trim that we're working on. This is what you call a pintle. It's what the shutters are mounted on. And this piece of trim right here is actually bumped out specifically so that the shutter can swing around and fit over the window. What we discovered though is it appears that the shutters were actually a later addition, and these pieces were added to accommodate the use of the shutters. So up top here, we actually took off the board that was used to house the shutter, and what we have is what you'd call a ghost mark. So this is a earlier paint outline that shows the original endpoint of a trim generation before. If you look right here too, we actually have really good evidence showing that, because we have the nail holes for the piece we removed and then a separate nail hole for the earlier trim. So just to show you guys, this is the piece we had to remove. It was damaged enough that required us taking it off the building and applying some consolidant. What's interesting though is if you look at the nails that were adhering the trim piece, these are hand-forged wrought nails made by a blacksmith. And really, these wouldn't show up very much after the early 19th century when machine-cut nails start becoming prominent. And what it tells us actually is that this modification of the windows to accept shutters happened very early in the life of the Marshall House, probably within the first 10 years after the building was constructed in 1790. So this is the Marshall Street side of the house. And as you can see, all the windows have the trim boards added to accommodate the use of shutters. What's interesting though is the rear elevation of the house never had shutters. And this is likely because it was a less prominent elevation of the house, less sunny. But back there, the trim surrounding the windows is what we now realize was the original trim surround on all the windows in the house. And what's especially interesting is if you measure the trim on the back of the house, it actually aligns perfectly with our ghost mark here. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. All the preservation work we do is funded entirely by donations. So if this kind of work is important to you, please consider donating to Preservation Virginia.